everyone, Jennifer here. This is one of your final projects and it's pretty easy. As you can see, what we're doing here is I'm basically just building what's called a contact sheet, which shows different furniture items that could be used on a set. So maybe I've gone to a bunch of different prop houses and I've taken a whole bunch of different pictures at the different prop houses and they're on my phone, say my iPhone. If that were the case, all I would have to do is just go into my photos and then I could export them. Okay, I'm going to close that because it's going to take a while, but I could export them into folders easily. And the way this works is you don't actually bring them into Photoshop. You can do this very, very quickly with a tool called Automate. I'm going to show you how to use Automate very easily by just grabbing images from the internet. Now, like I said, if you had visited prop houses and you had all these pictures in your phone, just go to your photos, as I showed you just a moment ago. Okay, go to your photos and just export. Right here, go to photos and just export each one into a folder. Everything should be in the same folder. So let me give you an idea of how this works. So the first thing I'm going to do is go on the internet, and I've got some Tiffany lamps here, and I've been gathering Tiffany lamps. Here's another one that could be a good idea. So let's say I'm going to show these ideas for how I want the set to be dressed. Okay, so what I do, and this is important, I'm not going to copy image, okay? Not going to copy. I'm going to save image as. Save image as. And I'm going to put every single image into one folder. So let me show you. Save image as. I already have this folder set up. It's called Lamps for Movie Set. And as you can see, this name was the original name of this image. But what I can do is, if I want to demonstrate it for my boss, working, doing some set dressing, what I can do is I can just name it Tiffany 8 and I'll know what it is. Or I could just leave the actual original name depending on, how I'm working. Okay, but in this case, they could just say, oh, we want Tiffany 5, and then I would get Tiffany 5 for the production. But I name it, so as you can see, I've named them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is going to be Tiffany 8. And I go ahead and save. Okay? Now, these are all saved into my external hard drive in one location, in one folder, as you just saw. Now I go to Photoshop. Okay, and I'm going to make a new contact sheet. Okay, so don't even worry about this one. I'm going to go File, Automate, and this is going to save a lot of time. You probably think, oh, well, I can just do this by dragging them into one project. Why waste my time doing that? This takes a split second compared to having to put these all together myself. Then I'm going to go to, so I went to File, Automate, Contact Sheet 2. Just click on that. And now it says Use Folder, okay, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose. And this is the folder I want. I'm going to click on Open. And as you can see, it's found the folder that I want. Okay, and if I had subfolders, I could include those, etc. Okay, and you could even group them by folder. Now I have this set up, and you can change this however you want, but for this assignment, set it up to be units to be inches, width to be 8, height to be 10, because you could print these on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and they would look just beautiful on it. Resolution, as always, 300 pixels per inch. This color profile by default is fine, sRGB, etc. Do not flatten all images unless you really think you're going to not change anything. I like to not flatten them, so that way if I want to move things around or change the names, I can. Okay, so there you go. You can decide how you want to place those images in columns and rows. I'm going to go across first and then have my subsequent rows beneath the first row. And you can change your font for the title. As you can see, Tiffany 1 JPEG is in this font, Minion Pro regular, and that's it. Okay, so once I've done this, I just click on OK and watch what Photoshop does. It's quickly doing all of this for me. Isn't that beautiful? And that's it. Wonderful, huh? So your assignment is to just do what I just did. Okay, I'm going on the internet. I'm grabbing images. If you want to choose cars or sofas or chairs, you know, whatever you'd like. Pretend you're working on a specific period piece. You know, maybe it's the 1950s, maybe it's the future, and you're choosing some kind of bizarre future looking object in different ones. And, you know, try to make sure they're kind of similar. I like having this white background on them, but if you wanted to give yourself more work, you could knock out the backgrounds. Like these ones, you know, you could knock out the backgrounds and then put them back in the folder, right? So in Photoshop, you'd knock out the backgrounds, then you'd put them back in the folder, and then you would use this tool, File, Automate, Contact Sheet 2, and fill it out just as I did before, and then hit OK, and voila, you're done. And as you can see, it made all these layers for me. Okay, made them very simple. It used masks here that are linked to the actual layer, kind of like we were doing with Paste Into. And it does a wonderful, wonderful job, and I'm all done. So Contact Sheet 001, I could rename it. I can go File, Save As, and save on my computer. And I'm just going to put it here. Don't put it into the folder where the lamps are, because then it might get confused if you want to add more lamps. So I would make a new folder here, and I'll just call Lamps Final Contact Sheet. There you go. Create, and we can call this Tiffany Lamps. Now, you can print this PSD file, or you could simply change it, you know, to a PDF, and then you could bring it to FedEx and print it. Or if you have your own printer, you could just print it. If you have your own printer, just print the PSD file. But if you need to send it somewhere to print, then you can just change it to a PDF. But remember to keep it at 300 pixels per inch. I'm going to leave this as a PSD and just save it and click on OK. And remember, this is going to print beautifully on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Okay, that was it. Very simple. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And this will be due probably, well, we'll see. I'll set up the due date for you. Okay, take care.